Hey everybody, I'm Stacy Warzak, and I am so privileged to spend some time with you today and to talk to you about 7 ways that we can master this business that are super simple and that I've used over the last 4 years, and I hope that you can take something away from our time together. Thank you so much for having me on this call. I truly appreciate it, and if you have any questions, you can message me on Facebook. You can find me on Stacy Warzak, at Stacy Warzak, or on Instagram, Stacy_Warzak, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. So a little bit about me. I have been a coach for 4 years. I started in April of 2014, and I'm a wife. I've been married for 17 years, and I'm a mom of 3 kids. I have lived in New York most of my life for 30 years, and then I moved to North Carolina, and I adore North Carolina. I love it here. We love everything about the South, except maybe the slow drivers. But I started this business, maybe like many of you, where I was overweight, I was always tired, I was irritable, I was annoyed when I would go to my closet and there was literally nothing there for me to wear or that I felt confident in. I was just a lonely, sad individual. I was 34 years old at the time. I was looking for community, for friendships. I was looking for a way to feel better in my own skin. I was looking for financial security. My husband worked long hours. He works very hard for our family to this day. He still does. And it was just a rat race, month after month, more bills than there was money. My husband worked commission, so there was months that it was abundant, money was abundant, and there was months that it was scarce and that I was scared. And I tossed and turned, and I knew that there had to be something more in this life for me than what I had at the time. Don't get me wrong, I was thankful for the roof over my head, the food at our table, my 3 healthy children, my healthy husband who we adore each other. And I just felt though that as a mom, as a woman, something was missing. And that's exactly when Beachbody came into my life. So let's get right into tip number 1. Tip number 1, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. So many times we are in this business and we are thinking, I don't want to post that before picture because I'm not where I want to be. Or that's just not who I am. Or I don't want to take that next step because what if I'm not a good leader? Or what if I can't do what I promised this big team that I want to eventually have that I can see in my future and my dreams? The key is the quicker we get uncomfortable, the quicker we're going to stretch ourselves and we're going to grow. Nobody wants a coach who is perfect. Nobody wants a coach who at the end of the day can't do a story on Instagram or on Facebook or a Facebook Live or even a post and everything is rainbows and butterflies every single day. Because I promise you, those people don't exist. And if they portray that on social media, they're going to lose followers eventually. Because people are looking for people like them. So in order to be vulnerable, in order to be true to who you are, you have to get uncomfortable. You have to take that next step and say, I'm going to be true to me. I'm going to do this so that other people can be encouraged and supported. And I promise you, if you do that, you'll find your tribe. Super simple. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Uncomfortable is where the magic happens in this business. Tip number 2. Life is short. If there was ever a moment to follow your passion and to do something that matters to you, the moment is now. Beachbody is our toolbox. They have come up with so many things over the last, say, 10, 12 months that are revolutionizing the fitness and health industry. If you're not excited about what's going on in this business, I genuinely feel sorry for you. There is so much that we can offer people. People who hate exercise, people who need to get a handle on their nutrition, people who are restricting, they're binging, they're beating themselves up. They're waking up every Monday and saying, I'm going to start today. There is something for everyone. So I would hope that you are using what Beachbody has given us in our toolbox to help fix your little circle of the world. What you do right now, today, is going to determine tomorrow and even the rest of the month. Consistency, the compound effect, it is true. It is real. It is definitely the case in our business. And you know what? Life is way too short. This life is way too short to worry about what everybody else thinks. We'll get into that in a minute. And it's way too short to not be truly loving what you're doing. And if you don't love this business, there are days I don't love it. I promise you, there are mornings that I'm like, I don't know how much more I can do this. When you're working with the public, when you're working with people, I believe that's truly the norm. It's a natural feeling. So don't ever think that because you don't love this every single day, that maybe this isn't for you, or maybe, this is not your calling. I just believe that this is hard work. This is hard hustle. This is show up on a consistent basis and realize that life is indeed short and that we need to truly be doing something that we love and that can change the world and change your future financially and physically if you just continue to do it day after day. Tip number 3, make a list. For me, I'm a paper and pen person. I love to write down those tasks just to check them off. I'm one of those. I am, if you were at Summit, I am a triangle. I had to think there for a second. I'm a triangle. I'm a Ruby personality. I like to accomplish goals. I like to cross that list off. But if you don't have a list or you aren't quite sure what to do, you're going to feel unorganized. You're going to feel aggravated and agitated when maybe your coach or your leader says, hey, what's on your list to do today? What are some goals you have? If you don't draft those out, you won't know. You won't know the answer, and you truly won't know where you're going. I love making lists for everything. Errands I need to run, what I need to go and get at the grocery store, my home to-do list, laundry and dishes and all that really fun stuff that all of us ladies who stay at home love to do the most, and even us ladies who don't stay at home. Just any list for anything, but also in my business. Every Thursday, we get a new fresh start with Beachbody, with our work week. And I always make a list of my goals for the next 7 days. I write everything down. It's very clear. It's very, very specific. And I work really hard every single week to get everything accomplished. Now, I don't overlist myself or overbook myself because I don't want to have several things not checked off. So I want to be realistic, but I also do want to stretch myself with my to-do list. And I truly believe that when it's written down and you can view it, you can see it, it's a goal, it's a task, it's important to you, you'll get it done. The next tip number 4, and this happens to be my favorite. If you happen to know anyone on my personal team, they will tell you, this is my favorite, stop being afraid of people. I started my business insecure. Every single negative thing you could think of, I probably was that. And I still have to work to this day. I've not arrived. I'm not perfect. I still feel insecure. I still, compare myself with other people who've been in the business as long as me, and they're far greater, making more money. They're far ranked higher than me. They're on the summit stage, for crying out loud. And here I am. So I do have this comparison issue that I deal with almost daily. But there comes a point when you do a lot of personal development, you maybe go to a therapist and talk it out, You talk to Jesus quite a bit. And you just know that being afraid of people, comparing yourself to people, not being yourself because you're holding back because of what other people might think, you're really doing yourself and the world a disservice. Post that before picture. Rock that belly that you might not be so proud of at this time, at this moment. You're going to reach people that you would never have reached if you kept that picture to yourself. Put yourself out there in a way that's relatable, that's respectable, and that's trustworthy. That is going to get you the challenger and the rock star coach you're looking for to build this business. If you pretend that everything is perfect 24/7, like I mentioned before, people will be gagging and they will be unfollowing you, unfriending you, and going to find a real coach who's real about what's really going on. Do we have to air all our dirty laundry? No. Do I suggest doing that? No. Our page should always be a place of lifting people up, encouragement. If someone's down, they should be able to know, hey, I'm going to Stacy's page because she's always got some light at the end of the tunnel. That's the kind of coach you want to be, and that's the kind of coach you want to attract. We don't want Debbie Downers on our team. We don't want someone that's always has that glass half full. It's draining. It's exhausting. So don't be that person. But don't be afraid of people. Don't be afraid of what people will think. That is something that will limit your success in this business if you're afraid. Tip number 5, take responsibility for what needs to be done and do it. A lot of times I hear from my personal team, I know what to do, but I just can't get motivated to do it. I just don't know how I can, just conquer it. I just have so many other things and pulling me this way, and kids and full-time jobs and all of this stuff. And I get it. I do. I understand. But understand also that everyone, just like our coaches, our future coaches and our challengers, we have time and money for what we want time and money for. You need to take responsibility right now for what needs to be done, for what you have said, I want 2018 to look like. And you need to do it. Get an action plan, be specific, get that list out, write it down, and take responsibility for what needs to be done. This is not about your leader. This is not about your upline. This has nothing to do with corporate. This has nothing to do with anything but the person that stares back at you in the mirror. The minute you take responsibility for what needs to be done, the minute you draft it out, an action plan, and the minute you start conquering it is the minute this business will take off for you. Tip number 6. If you have to convince someone that you're right for them, then maybe they aren't right for you. Again, I've learned since 2014 that talking people into this business, talking people into a challenge pack, talking people into anything normally gets me a return, or it gets me a frustrated customer or a frustrated myself. I've learned that we cannot tell people what they want to hear. We need to be upfront, we need to be honest, and we need to be real. We need to say, listen, this is going to be hard work, both business and fitness, okay? This isn't some do it when you feel like it job. If you want to do it when you feel like it, you're going to get a bank deposit when it feels like it, which is going to be few and far between, because it's only going to happen when you actually show up. If you have to convince someone that Shakeology is right for them, if you have to convince someone that Beach Bars or the Performance Line or the Boost or a challenge pack is the right fit, if you have to beg and plead and talk them into it, they're not right for you, because they will take all of your energy that you could be dialing into someone else who doesn't need convincing, and you can be a much happier coach, and you could be you can have much happier challenge groups and challengers if you know and you own that we have something amazing. This financial opportunity that we have stumbled upon for some of us, that we have done research and we've joined for some of us, and for some of us who just showed up every day and are reaping the benefits every Thursday when that deposit hits, it's because we've learned we don't have to convince someone. You weren't the one that needed to be convinced sitting here. You were the one that said, I'm going all in. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do what it takes to make my future, the next 10 years, look a lot different than this moment right now. When you think like that, and when you know what you had to offer, you won't be convincing people. You'll spend your time with people who don't need convincing, because we are not in the convincing business. Lastly, tip number 7, success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. Consistency. My team will also tell you, my favorite word. Consistency is truly the secret sauce. I get asked quite often, especially the year that I went elite. I went from diamond to 6-star from after Summit in July to December. That short amount of time, I ranked up six times. And people were like, Stacey, what are you doing? You have to know something I don't. Tell me your secrets. It's literally one word: consistency. I showed up when I was sick. I showed up when I was exhausted. I showed up when my kids were sick. I showed up when my kids had a vacation day, when they were off for summer break. I showed up when I was on vacation. I showed up when I could have went to bed. I showed up when I could have slept in. And I did that for months. Am I saying that's for you? No. Am I saying you're not a good coach if you don't do that? No. But what I am saying is that if you have a goal in mind, if you want to make money in this business, if you want to change people's lives, you have to be consistent. You have to do it when you don't feel like it, which is pretty much all the time, if you're like me. Consistency truly is the secret sauce. If you can take the next 15 days and you can take out your tracker and you can say, I'm going to do the vital behaviors every single day. I'm going to grow relationships. I'm going to invite the snot out of this thing. Every single day for 15 days, you will see a shift in your business. It may be a small shift, because if you continue to day 16 and on, you will see a dramatic change. One last thought. This is one of my favorite slides, and when I was asked to speak at a Super Saturday, I love this graphic, and I used it because so many of us have seen coaches who we respected, who we adored, who we truly thought had it all in this business walk away. It just got too hard. And that might be where you are right now. You might be feeling, I just can't do it anymore. This is too much. This isn't what I thought it was going to be. I'm not cut out for this. But I'll tell you right now, first comes the dream, then comes the struggle, and then comes the victory. The problem is that most people give up during the struggle, never knowing just how close they were to that victory. The only way that you'll ever know is to not quit. And the only way you'll fail is to walk away. Never, ever, ever quit. You never know how close you are to those gems. That man on the bottom was probably 3 axes, or whatever those things are called, 3 hacks away from all of those gems just falling at his feet. You never know how close you are to signing up a top 10 coach, to signing up someone who has your vision and who wants to run with you. If you walk away from this business, you won't ever know. And you'll always wonder, what if? I hope those tips encouraged you and helped you out a little bit today. Like I said, if you have any questions, find me on Facebook, send me a message, follow me. I would love to get to know you a little bit too. And again, thank you so much for tuning in and for having me. I appreciate your time, and have a great day.